Hi guys, with more and more protests taking place outside ex-hotels housing asylum seekers, the people attending these demonstrations are being presented by the media as ordinary members of the public. Although when Sky News met a number of them, we got a different impression. Have a listen to this.
Behind every hotel protest are people.
The smiles here is masking the anger.
Typically wary of media and distrustful of authority.
They would appeal, wouldn't they? They're scared.
We've been given candid access to speak to those involved.
So we've got to give you a chance.
Branded racist and far right.
They're calling you Nazi scum.
I couldn't care less what they call me.
Protests outside asylum seeker hotels are growing in intensity, drawing some who've never protested before. We're going to see Dinah Bentley, a retired teacher. She went to her first hotel protest last week in Wakefield, West Yorkshire, close to where she lives.
Hello, hi Dinah, thank you so much.
Are you all right with
yes,
dogs?
I'm fine with dogs.
Come
Hello.
on through.
How are you feeling? You're not too nervous, I hope.
No, all right. I know I should be. I should be very nervous. We are amongst friends.
Right.
I know it can be a little bit controversial.
What sort of person has a life-size poster or whatever of Nigel frigging Farage? You know, these are supposed to be ordinary members of the public, not Reform UK activists. And this is obviously a Reform UK activist. You know, Sky News could have interviewed a whole range of people, but they decided, let's go and interview a Reform UK activist. I hope this thing is washable.
The fact that I don't laud him, but I admire him.
Is that a permanent fixture or is that just for us?
That is permanent.
What is it about?
Permanent. Okay. So we're talking about sycophancy. Somebody who's a Nigel Farage fan. We're not talking about ordinary members of the public here.
About Nigel Farage that you like?
But I set all my hopes on him and reform because we're in such a mess.
What is it that he says that sort of resonates with you?
He says what I believe, what I think.
Mm.
And this is why Nigel Farage is so successful. He listens to middle-income people, middle-class people, in some cases the elderly, and he repeats back exactly what they want to hear. He says what I want to hear. That's why I'm supporting Nigel Farage. He's not somebody who's going to present difficult, complex solutions to complex problems. He's going to provide me with simple solutions to complex problems. Send them all back. Deport everyone. 5 flights a day. Close the borders. All of these things. This is the sort of rhetoric that these people want to hear. Nigel Farage is giving them it on a silver platter and they're lapping it up. But once again, it's a very strange individual who has something like this in their home.
And everybody talks about the migration, but our country's ruined. They've ruined it. It's an invasion, isn't it?
This person's primary concern, it seems, is immigration. She's living in the middle of the countryside, it seems. She's not surrounded by foreigners. She's probably not interacting with them on a daily basis. And we've seen evidence that when people interact with different cultures, they're more accepting of those cultures. If you're isolated and the only information you receive when it comes to foreigners is from Nigel frigging Farage or social media, of course you're going to have a very negative image of them. And her primary concern, of course, is immigration. It doesn't seem to be, for example, the cost of living crisis. She's probably doing quite well for herself. It's housing, not housing because she has her own home. The NHS, I don't know, but her primary concern is immigration. Why is it immigration?
And they shouldn't be here.
Dinah is 78, a grandmother of 2. She's never been to a migration-related protest before. Understanding why this one and why now, for her, is as much about the past as it is about the present.
Great Uncle Alfred, who was my grandma's brother, He was blown up in 1916. He died for our country, and if you could see what's happening to it now, and if he was in a grave, he would spin.
I really don't understand this. I know she's not talking about World War II, when it was a fight against the Nazis, but what does Nigel Farage represent? What does Reform UK represent? It seems to be a twisted idea of what Britain should be. Britain is an open society, a welcoming society. I don't think the people who fought in World War I or World War II would like to see what's happening now, because it's completely flipped on its head.
I'm getting emotional now.
Why is it making you feel emotional?
God's sake. Sorry, I didn't expect that to happen.
Well, I'm sorry that we've made you cry, but it's obvious this is something you feel very strongly about. I mean, in some way, do you feel like would you call this a fight?
A fight? It is a fight for survival. Not a physical fight, but it's a mental fight for survival.
So, what do you mean by that?
Instead of government ministers paying lip service to the people of this country and saying some things that they think we would like to hear, actions speak louder than words.
But Nigel Farage is the one who's telling you exactly what you want to hear. Nigel Farage is not interested in practical solutions. He's interested in sound bites. He's interested in simple answers to complex problems. Nigel Farage will not improve the situation for ordinary people.
And I think very little is being done, and what is being done is dire.
Okay. This is the icing on the cake. Keep calm and Brexit. So she's a Brexiteer. I honestly don't understand how somebody who says, I'm concerned about the future generation, I'm concerned about my children, about my grandchildren, and then I supported Brexit. I voted to make their lives worse. And now I'm attending a protest because I think their life is going to get worse because of immigrants. Because Nigel Farage told me so.
We are advised not to go to Somalia because it's a dangerous country. Yet we are accepting some men from Somalia into this country. They're undocumented. We know nothing about them. We don't know where they are, wandering the streets. It's not right, is it? Why are they not seeking asylum in the first safe country? Well, we know why, because when they get here, they're getting everything for free.
Where is the journalism here? Why isn't the journalist pushing back? The woman is asking questions and the journalist is completely mute. Why is the journalist not saying, well, this is the reason why they're coming here? You said Somalia is a dangerous place to live. There are people fleeing Somalia because it's a dangerous place to live. Now, are there some bad people within that group who are claiming asylum? Yes, of course, because there are bad people in every society. But they are the minority. You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You don't say we're going to block everyone from Somalia because of a few bad people. Because these people are fleeing persecution. They're fleeing a dangerous situation. They're coming to the UK because they have some sort of connection to the UK. Why is the journalist not saying this? They're not getting everything for free. Or if they are, it's because they're not allowed to work. Now, would you support the idea of them working so that they don't get stuff for free? Because Farage and Reform are saying these people are not contributing to society. They're getting everything for free: accommodation, food, medical support, everything. But at the same time, we don't want them to work because that would create a pull factor. But they're already in the country. The pull factor, if there exists one, maybe it's the idea that there's safety in the UK. That has already been done. It's no point talking about a pull factor at that stage. The people are already in the country. So doesn't it make sense to allow them to work? There's an opportunity here for the journalist to push back, to ask questions, to respond to her concerns. But there wasn't a response. It was just a monologue. And this woman is going to go away believing that Nigel Farage is going to fix all of her problems. Nigel Farage didn't fix her problems with Brexit. Of course, I imagine if we were to speak to her, she'd probably say it wasn't Nigel Farage's fault, it was the Tories or the Remainers or the Blob or the EU or whatever. Because she hasn't had somebody sit down with her and explain the reality of the situation. She voted to make her children and grandchildren's lives worse because of Brexit, and now she's complaining that their lives are worse because of immigrants. And Nigel Farage is egging this sort of thing on. I don't like the idea that people are too far gone, but the media have a responsibility when they ask questions to sit down with people and say, this is the reality of the situation. They don't have to pick sides, they just have to say the reality, the facts. Because if you don't, people will go away with misinformation in their heads. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.